Good day. This is the Bible Interpreter. Today, I thought I would deal with some very important things that I think that's causing a lot of confusion. And what I would say is that there's a thing called misunderstanding, and misunderstanding produces a lie. No matter how much truth you hear, in the ears of misunderstanding, the very truth that you hear becomes a lie. And what do I mean by that? If I give you instructions to do something and you don't properly comprehend the instructions, then you're going to try to operate in misunderstanding. It's going to automatically make what I told you be done wrong. Not what I told you to be wrong, it's that your understanding made what I told you to be wrong. So how does that apply when it comes to scriptures? The scriptures are called the word of truth. But if I don't understand the scriptures properly, they're going to produce a great lie. No matter how great the truth of the scriptures are, in the ears of misunderstanding, that very truth becomes a lie. Because if somebody don't understand something, there's no way they can properly carry it out. So misunderstanding produces the lie in the ear of the person with misunderstanding. So if I am not able to explain scriptures in a way that you can properly understand it, and you try to operate in what you think the scriptures are saying, or if I'm not properly educated in what the scriptures are saying, we're both operating in what we call a lie. Paul said it this way. He said that the law was good, but he said it was something in his intellect, but he didn't use the word intellect, but he said there was something that was causing him to do wrong by something that was good. And we know when we use common sense that the only way that I can do something wrong when I'm trying to do right is to misunderstand it. So anytime I don't understand something, I'm gonna automatically try to do it in what I think is right, and it's going to be called wrong. If the book tells us that the transgression of the law is sin, so anytime I do something that's contrary to the rules, it is counted as sin. And we call that being unrighteous, not right, or wrong. So if somebody don't properly understand the scriptures, they're going to operate in what we call misunderstanding. And all the works that they do in misunderstanding is called a lie. It is called sin. So Paul will tell you that when you first read the scriptures, it confused him. He was confounded by the scriptures until he had a mind change. So absent my mind being converted from the way I think, I'm going to automatically take the truth of the scriptures and have a misunderstanding. And I'm going to operate in the misunderstanding, thinking I'm serving the God of truth when I'm actually serving sin. So another way of looking at it would be saying, if he tell you that to be carnal-minded is death. Well, we all know that everybody who reads the scripture has a carnal mind. And what do we mean by that? We have a natural intellect when we read the scripture. That's what carnal means. Carnal means fleshly or natural, so it's associated with the natural intellect. So everybody who reads the scriptures automatically are in transgression when they read the scriptures, because the scriptures are meant to be spiritually encountered. But when we travel through the scripture with our carnal mind, all we hear is misunderstanding. And as long as we're in that mindset without having a conversion, having a mind renewal, we can't serve God properly. So the thing that I would do, I find not. That's what Paul is saying. I'm trying to do right by my understanding, but my understanding is causing me to do wrong. Until my mind has been changed, redeveloped with understanding, I can't do right even when I'm trying to do right. But they have taken and made it, when the book said that the flesh, they thinking it's talking about skin and tissue and bone. But the flesh of the scriptures is not talking about skin, tissue, and bone. When the scriptures is talking about the flesh is enmity with the spirit, it's saying the carnal mind is the natural intellect of man that is at odds with what the scriptures is truly saying. And so every time I hear the word without a conversion in my mind, or somebody who is teaching me with a converted mind, I'm getting misunderstanding. So every time I try to practice what I think is right, I'm actually doing wrong because of my understanding. Not that what the person was teaching was necessarily wrong, because if they read the scriptures to me, the scriptures is right. But the scriptures are not right in the ears of misunderstanding. That's why the book said, in all you're getting, get an understanding. So to understand something is a lot more important than what most people think. And I say again, the greatest lie ever told is the truth in the ears of misunderstanding. The greatest lie ever told is the truth in the ears of misunderstanding. Because you have two sides of everything. There's a right and there's a wrong. So if I'm hearing the scriptures, but my understanding is not open to what's really been said, and then I try to operate in what I think the scripture said, opposed to what is truly being said, I'm automatically a transgressor in what I try to do right. No matter how much I'm trying to do the will, until I understand the will, I can't properly understand, I can't properly do it. And the mistake that most people make, they think when they read the scripture that they're operating in the spirit of understanding when they're operating in a carnal mind, which is at odds with the spirit of understanding. You must have a conversion of understanding. Your mind must be renewed in knowledge in order that you might be elevated into an insight, what we call understanding. Understanding and misunderstanding are polar opposites one to another. No one, when they first read the scriptures, I don't care how much you think that you're intellectually inclined or a scholar, or whatever you think you are, you have a carnal mind. And when we say carnal, like I said before, we're saying you have a natural intellect that's in place, traveling through the scriptures illegally, because the scriptures are spiritual, and your mind must be converted to spirit so that it can be legally operating in the things of God. Everything that you hear in your natural intellect and you're trying to operate in it, it makes you a outlaw, somebody outside of the law. You're illegal traveling in the scriptures with a carnal mindset. So that mind must be converted so that you can properly understand. When the scriptures say, how do you hear, can you hear without a preacher? We all know that have been students of the word, that it's not talking about an audible sound. It's talking about the ear of understanding. And if you don't get a good understanding, you didn't properly hear. Though you heard an audible sound, but if I didn't get an understanding, it's equal to spiritually not being able to hear. So no one in the beginning can hear the voice of God until the ear has been circumcised. Everyone must have a cutting off of the old way of hearing in order to heal and develop a new understanding in the ear gate. And the gate of understanding we're talking about is the gate of one ear that produces understanding whenever you properly hear something in a way that you can operate. So, and like I said before, no one in the beginning has that. We all are uncircumcised in heart, in mind, in ear. And when I say mind, we're not talking about something outside of your intellect. Your old intellect must be cut off, circumcised. Your forethoughts, everything that you thought to know before coming to God, is called the foreskin. It is the forelife you had prior to coming into the knowledge. So that must be circumcised, cut off. And then you have to have a rest period, a time of sitting dormant until you can be taught and raised up with a new understanding. It's like getting a new ear, a new mind. But we're not talking physical. And like I said before, the greatest truth becomes a lie in the ear of misunderstanding. So if you know that, whenever you read the scriptures, that your natural intellect is telling you a lie, whether you want to believe it or not. What you're reading is not a lie, but your understanding is producing a lie by what you're reading. So you're taking in the will of God, which is His law, and it's deceiving you, and it's causing you to operate in a lie because you didn't wait on a preacher. You took it upon yourself and started to have pride in your own intellect, your own intelligence, thinking that the book was just like any other book, but the book is way more what we would call sophisticated than what we have been told. You can read the book forever and never come to an understanding. So as we say again, in all you're getting, get an understanding. Hopefully this will make you think about something. And like I said, I hadn't did something in a little while. There's so many things I want to talk about, but sometimes I don't have the motivation because the people are so accustomed to being ignorant. They'd rather not search out things. They don't try to prove anything. They just go along with what they hear. It's sad, and it makes you want to give up on the people. But hopefully God will keep inspiring me to put out little things to try to enlighten people as much as possible. Until next time, Bible interpreter, be educated.